chosen ones. Something happened, something massive, something that rippled through the fabric of somebody's entire existence. And the wildest part, it came straight out of your mouth, a truth so powerful, so undeniable, so heavy with divine weight, that it didn't just make somebody uncomfortable, it didn't just ruffle some feathers. No, it literally shifted somebody into an alternate reality. Their whole world flipped upside down because of something you said. Maybe it was days ago, maybe it was weeks, could have been months or even years back. But just recently, boom, that truth landed, and when it hit, nothing was ever the same for them again. Picture this, someone is walking down the street, nice day, sun is shining, birds are chirping, they're just minding their business, living in the little world they constructed. And then out of nowhere, like an arrow falling from the heavens, your truth strikes them right in the chest. They didn't see it coming, they had no defense prepared, and the moment that arrow made contact, something cracked open inside them. I'm seeing sacred geometry. I'm seeing universal symbols flooding their consciousness, math equations they never understood before suddenly making sense. And when they snapped back to regular awareness, when they looked around at their so-called normal life, everything was different. The colors were wrong. The shapes didn't match. Their whole reality had been flipped on its head. That was you. You did that. You carry something inside you that other people simply don't have. Impact. Raw, undiluted, heaven-sent impact. The same words could come out of 10 different mouths and do nothing. But when those words come out of your mouth, worlds shatter, realities shift, illusions crumble into dust. Now let me tell you something. This isn't always going to feel good. Sometimes that truth you carry isn't well received at first. And it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It just means you have a truth that makes people deeply uncomfortable. It exposes things they didn't want to see. It reveals what they've been hiding from themselves and everyone else. So yeah, they might push back, they might get upset, they might try to make you feel like you're the problem. But here's what I need you to understand right now at the start of this message. You were meant to say it. That truth was deposited inside you by a power greater than yourself, and you were sent here to deliver it. Let me show you exactly what happened. There's this principle I want to break down for you. If enough people gather around a frog and clap and cheer and tell that frog it's a lion, eventually that frog is going to believe it. It's going to puff up its little chest. It's going to try to roar. It's going to walk around expecting everyone to bow down and tremble. And here's the thing. For a long time, that's exactly what was happening. This person in your life, this energy around you, they had convinced everyone they were the king of the jungle. They gave out orders and people obeyed. They made demands and people submitted. They did things, harmful things, manipulative things, and nobody held them accountable. Everybody just cowered. Everybody just went along with it. But then you came along, and you know what role you played. You played the role of the mirror holder. While everybody else was bowing and scraping and pretending this frog was a mighty lion, you walked in with a mirror, you held it up, and when they looked into it expecting to see a majestic beast staring back, expecting to hear that powerful roar echo through the room, you know what came out instead? Ribbit, just a little wet croak, ribbit, and their whole world came crashing down around them. What do you mean they're not the king of the jungle? What do you mean all that power and authority was an illusion? What do you mean people have been bowing down to a frog this whole time? That's what you exposed. That's the illusion you shattered. And now somebody is living in what I like to call the land of the ribbit. They're having to face the reality that they were never what they pretended to be. They never had the power they claimed. They were just a frog in lion's clothing, and you pulled back the curtain. Now here's where it gets interesting. They're mad at you. Oh, they are furious, but the most they can call you is mirror holder. They want to call you every name in the book. They want to drag your reputation through the mud. They want to scream and shout and point fingers. But all they can really say is, you showed them who they are, and they hate you for it. See, that's the thing about being a truth teller. People don't always thank you for the revelation. At least not at first, because you didn't just expose this person to themselves, you exposed them to everyone else too. All those people who had been clapping and cheering, all those people who had been submitting and obeying, they all saw the ribbit too. And suddenly the spell was broken. Suddenly people started pulling away from this so-called lion. They stopped being so afraid. They stopped feeling like they had to bow down, because you showed them the truth. This person was never a lion. They were a frog who manipulated everyone into seeing something that wasn't real. This person had been giving out glasses. Let me explain what I mean by that. They had been handing out special lenses to everyone around them. When you put those glasses on, you saw them exactly how they wanted to be seen. Powerful, important, untouchable. Those glasses filtered reality. They made the lie look like truth, and the truth look like a lie. But your arrow of truth, it cracked those lenses, it shattered those glasses, and now everyone is seeing with clear eyes for the first time. And they're angry, they're confused, they're questioning everything. How did we fall for this? How did we not see it before? We made decisions based on who we thought this person was. We trusted them, we followed them, and the whole time they were wearing a costume. That mask got ripped straight off their face, and you're the one who did it. Now I need you to hear me when I say this. Somewhere behind the scenes, you're probably getting blamed. They're probably talking about you when you're not around. They're probably trying to make you the villain in this story. Mirror holder, look what they did. They ruined everything. They exposed everything. How dare they? But listen to me carefully. That's exactly what you were supposed to do. You were sent to shake that room. You were called to speak that truth. You were designed to hold up that mirror. This is your assignment, and you executed it perfectly. Some of you didn't even say anything directly. Some of you just started living differently. You made a change in your own life that triggered all of this. Maybe you had a glow-up. Maybe you shifted your finances. Maybe you changed your appearance, your status, your situation. You started walking in your authentic truth, and that alone was enough to expose the lie. Because here's what happened. Everybody was sitting around believing that this person was the lion, and you were the frog. They had you painted as small, insignificant, powerless. But then you started moving. You started growing. You started shining, and people started to notice. Wait a minute. Is that the one they said couldn't do anything? Is that the one they told us to dismiss? Is that the one who was supposed to stay quiet and small? Look at them now. They're glowing. They're thriving. They're winning. And if they're winning, then what does that make the other one? The one who told us they were supposed to be on top. The one who claimed all the power and authority. Ribbit. Just by being your authentic self, you exposed the fraud. You didn't have to run your mouth. You didn't have to go on a campaign. Your fruit spoke for you. Your elevation was the evidence. Your transformation was the testimony. And now everybody sees it. But let me tell you what was happening behind the scenes before all this came to light. There was something darker going on. Something more intentional. This person didn't just accidentally get mistaken for a lion. They actively worked to steal your position. They deliberately tried to switch your identities. I'm talking about something spiritual here, something that goes deeper than surface-level manipulation. There's a story that illustrates this perfectly. Two people went to the beach. One was named Truth, one was named Lie. They both had shirts with their names on them. They took off their clothes, went into the water, started swimming. Then Lie got out first. And what did Lie do? Grabbed Truth's clothes and put them on, ran off wearing Truth's identity. So when Truth finally came out of the water, the only clothes left were Lie's clothes. Now most people in that situation would panic. They'd think they had no choice. They'd put on those Lie clothes just to have something to wear. But Truth didn't do that. Truth threw those Lie clothes on the ground and said, you know what, I guess people are just going to have to live with the naked truth. That's exactly what happened in your situation. Somebody tried to switch clothes with you. They wanted to be seen as the authentic one, while you got painted as the fake. They wanted your reputation, your blessings, your destiny. They thought if they could just make the swap, no one would ever know the difference. But they didn't count on you refusing to put on the costume. They didn't expect you to stand there in your raw, unfiltered authenticity. They thought you'd play along. They thought you'd accept the role they assigned you. But you didn't. Even when it was uncomfortable, even when you felt exposed, even when everyone seemed to believe the lie, you kept walking forward as yourself. You refused to wear clothes that didn't belong to you. You refused to pretend to be something you're not. And that decision, that stubborn, courageous, divinely inspired decision, is what exposed everything. Because here's the thing about walking in your authentic truth. It forces everything fake to reveal itself. When you stand there as the naked truth, everyone has to ask why the other person is wearing your clothes. When you refuse to participate in the identity swap, the whole scheme falls apart. Suddenly people are looking at this so-called lion and realizing the shirt they're wearing says truth, but everything about them screams lie. They stole your clothes. They stole your identity. They tried to take what was meant for you, and for a while, maybe it looked like they got away with it. Maybe people believed them. Maybe you felt like you were losing. But the whole time God had a plan. The whole time there was a reversal in motion. And now that reversal is manifesting in ways you're just beginning to see. Everything is changing, and I mean everything. It's like a wind swept through and flipped the whole world upside down. For them, this is devastating. Everything they built on lies is crumbling. Every relationship they maintained through manipulation is fracturing. Every bit of false authority they claimed is being stripped away. They didn't see this coming. They had no time to prepare. They couldn't get their story straight. They couldn't gather their defenses. Boom, truth landed, and there was no recovering from it. But for you, this same change is flipping your world right side up. If things were upside down before, they're being corrected now. If things were already good, they're about to get even better, because you stayed true, because you didn't compromise, because you refused to put on clothes that weren't yours. Now you're stepping into a season of reward, a season of happiness, a season where you can see clearly and walk freely. Let me tell you what else is happening. As you continue walking in this truth, as you continue holding up that mirror, you're becoming something powerful, a spiritual force, an arrow that strikes with precision, a voice that shakes rooms you're not even physically in. I saw this vision of you sending something out, a word, a decision, a step forward, and it made walls shake in places you've never been. It made people gasp who don't even know your name. That's the kind of impact you carry. And here's the thing. You're going to get very comfortable making people uncomfortable. That used to bother you, the tension, the conflict, the knowledge that someone was upset because of something you said or did. But you're moving past that now. You're stepping into a new level of confidence, a new level of authority. When God tells you to speak, you speak. When the truth rises up in you, you let it out. And whoever it needs to hit, it hits. That's not your burden to carry. That's not your problem to solve. Your job is to be the archer. Your job is to release the arrow. Where it lands and who it transforms, that's between them and the Most High. Somebody in a high place is being brought low right now because of what you released. That fake lion who sat on a throne they never earned, they're being dethroned. That person who told everyone you couldn't do it, who said it was impossible, who demanded submission and compliance, they're watching everything fall apart. And you're watching everything come together. Do you feel that? That lightness in your chest? That sense of something lifting off your shoulders? That's the reversal completing itself. That's the mirror magic that was used against you being turned back on the one who cast it. They tried to flip your script. They tried to steal your story, but the author of all things wasn't having it. And now the pen is back in the right hands, your hands, God's hands, and the next chapter being written is your vindication chapter. Some of you were left in impossible situations, abandoned, betrayed, stranded. You were supposed to fall apart. You were supposed to fail. That was part of their plan. But you didn't fail. You kept going. You kept standing. You kept being you. And now every step you take is like a roar that echoes through the spirit realm. Because remember, they tried to make you the frog, they tried to make themselves the lion. But when you open your mouth now, when you walk forward now, everybody hears it. That's a roar. And all they can do is ribbit. Now let me go deeper into this, because I don't think you fully grasp the magnitude of what's happening. See, when you spoke that truth, when you held up that mirror, you didn't just affect one person, you set off a chain reaction. Think of it like dominoes. That first truth hit the first domino, and that domino hit the next one, and the next one, and now there's a whole row of revelations falling into place. People who had nothing to do with the original situation are suddenly waking up. They're suddenly seeing things clearly. They're suddenly questioning everything they thought they knew. This is what happens when a chosen one speaks. The words don't just land in one place. They echo, they ripple, they travel through time and space and touch people who weren't even in the room. Somebody heard about what you said. Somebody heard about what you did, and it triggered something in them too. Now they're looking at their own life, they're examining their own relationships, they're questioning their own frogs dressed as lions. You started something that can't be stopped now. It's too late to put the genie back in the bottle. The truth is out there multiplying, growing, spreading, and every single person it touches becomes another mirror holder, another truth teller, another chosen one, waking up to their assignment. That's the power you carry. It's generational. It's viral, it's contagious in the best possible way. One word from your mouth and entire bloodlines start shifting. One decision from your spirit and family patterns start breaking. One step in your authentic direction and ancestral curses start losing their grip. You think this is just about you and some fake lion? No, this is about something much bigger. This is about you stepping into your role as a pattern breaker, a generational curse ender, a new timeline starter. When you refused to put on those lie clothes, when you stood there as the naked truth, you weren't just making a statement for yourself, you were making a declaration for everyone connected to you, past, present, and future. Your children will walk differently because of what you did. Your grandchildren will carry themselves with a different kind of authority because of the truth you spoke. The people who look up to you, whether you know they're watching or not, they're being transformed by your example. That's the weight of what you carry. That's the responsibility of being chosen. Your authenticity isn't just for you, it's a blueprint for everyone coming behind you. And I know what some of you are thinking. Who am I to have this kind of impact? Who am I to shake rooms and shift realities? Let me tell you something. That voice of doubt wasn't planted by God. That question wasn't placed in your spirit by anything holy. That's the residue of the lie. That's the echo of what the fake lion tried to make you believe. They wanted you to think you were small. They needed you to feel insignificant. Because as long as you stayed shrunk, they could keep pretending to be big. But you're not small. You never were. The smallness was a costume they tried to dress you in. The insignificance was a role they tried to force you to play, and maybe for a while you believed it. Maybe for a season you walked around with your shoulders hunched and your voice lowered and your light dimmed, but something in you never fully submitted. Something in you kept pushing back. Something in you knew, even when everything around you said otherwise, that you were meant for more. That something is the truth that was deposited in you before you were born. It's the calling that was placed on your life before you took your first breath. It's the destiny that was written in heaven's records with your name attached to it. And no frog dressed as a lion, no matter how convincing their costume, could ever take that away from you. They could delay it, they could try to distort it, they could attempt to steal it, but they could never destroy it, because what God has placed inside you is indestructible. Now let me show you something else that's been happening. While you were walking in your truth, while you were refusing to compromise, there were forces working on your behalf that you couldn't see, angels moving chess pieces, divine hands opening doors that looked permanently sealed, supernatural favor being released in places you didn't even know existed. You thought you were fighting alone, you thought you were standing by yourself, but the whole time heaven had your back. Every attack that was launched against you was intercepted. Every trap that was set for you was dismantled. Every curse that was spoken over your life was returned to sender with interest. You may have felt the heat from some of those attacks. You may have gotten a little singed by some of those flames, but you're still here, still standing, still breathing, still speaking truth. And that alone is proof that nothing the enemy threw at you was able to take you out. They tried to destroy your reputation. It's still intact. They tried to break your spirit. It's still strong. They tried to steal your joy. You're still capable of smiling. They tried to take everything you had. You're still here with something to give. Every weapon they formed against you failed. Not because you're perfect, not because you never made mistakes, but because the one who called you is faithful. And when God starts something, he finishes it. This is why they're so confused right now. They threw everything at you. Everything. The lies, the betrayal, the manipulation, the isolation, the character assassination, the spiritual warfare, the identity theft, all of it. And somehow, some way, you're still standing. Not just standing, thriving, growing, glowing, getting stronger. And they can't figure out why their weapons didn't work. Let me tell you why. You're covered, anointed, protected by a power they don't understand and can't combat. They were fighting against you thinking you were just a regular person, but you're not regular. You're chosen, set apart, called for a specific purpose, and the same God who called you is the same God who keeps you. That's why their schemes failed. That's why their plots backfired. That's why everything they tried to use against you is now turning around and working for you. What they meant for evil, God is using for good. What they designed to destroy you is actually propelling you forward. The very things that should have ended you are becoming the springboard for your elevation. You want to talk about divine justice? This is it. Watching your enemies build traps that they end up falling into themselves. Watching the holes they dug for you become their own graves. Watching the lies they spoke about you become the noose around their own necks. You didn't have to fight. You didn't have to scheme. You didn't have to lower yourself to their level. All you had to do was stay true, stay authentic, stay aligned with who you were created to be. And now vindication is finding you. I need you to understand something crucial right now. This isn't luck. This isn't coincidence. This isn't just karma working itself out. This is divine orchestration. God himself is rearranging things on your behalf. He's moving people out of your way who were blocking your blessings. He's removing obstacles that were hindering your progress. He's clearing the path for your next level. And he's doing it all because you were faithful in the season when faithfulness cost you something. Remember when staying true wasn't popular. Remember when being authentic meant being alone. Remember when speaking truth meant losing relationships. Remember when walking in your calling meant walking without support. You paid a price for being who you are, and now that price is being repaid with compound interest. The relationships you lost are being replaced with better ones. The opportunities that were blocked are being reopened in greater forms. The resources that were stolen are flowing back multiplied. The time that was wasted is being redeemed. Everything you sacrificed in the name of truth is being returned to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is the reward season. This is the harvest time. This is the moment when all those seeds of authenticity you planted start producing fruit. And it's not just any fruit. It's fruit that's going to sustain you for years. It's fruit that's going to feed others around you. It's fruit that's going to outlast your physical life and impact generations. That's what you've been working toward. Every hard day, every lonely night, every tear-soaked pillow, every prayer that felt unanswered, every moment you wanted to give up but didn't. It was all building toward this. All of it. The struggle was the fertilizer for the success. The pain was the preparation for the purpose. The test was the training for the testimony. Now you're ready. Ready for what's coming next. Ready for the opportunities that are lined up. Ready for the doors that are about to swing wide open. Ready for the abundance that's been allocated with your name on it. You've been through enough refining. You've been through enough testing. You've been through enough waiting. Now it's time to receive. But let me warn you about something. As you step into this new season, there will be people who try to convince you to go backward. There will be voices that try to pull you back to the old version of yourself. There will be familiar spirits that try to drag you into familiar dysfunctions. Don't let them. You've come too far. You've paid too much. You've grown too strong. The old you died so the new you could live. Don't resurrect what was crucified. The fake lion might try to reach out. They might try to apologize. They might try to smooth things over. They might try to convince you that things can go back to the way they were. But understand something. Going back would require you to put on clothes that no longer fit. Going back would require you to pretend you don't see what you see. Going back would require you to betray yourself. And that's a price you should never be willing to pay. Forward, that's the only direction for you now. Forward into your purpose, forward into your destiny, forward into everything God has prepared for you. Let the fake lions figure out how to live in the land of the ribbit. That's not your concern. Your concern is the territory that's waiting for you up ahead. Your concern is the mountains that still need to be climbed. Your concern is the impact that still needs to be made. You've got world-changing to do, rooms to shake, realities to shift, truths to speak, mirrors to hold up, and none of that can happen if you're looking backward. So fix your eyes on what's in front of you, lock in on the vision, commit to the assignment, and move forward with all the confidence of someone who knows they're backed by the Most High. Now let me show you what's coming next, because this isn't just about exposing the fake and vindicating the real. This is about new doors opening, new energy flowing in, new connections that are going to bless your life in ways you can't even imagine yet. There's somebody watching you. I keep getting this impression. Someone has been observing you from a distance, popping in and out. You might see them occasionally, at random places, in passing moments, and you never thought much of it, but they've been paying attention. They've seen your authenticity. They've noticed how you carry yourself. They've watched you refuse to compromise, and something about that drew them in. This isn't about getting attached or locked down. This is about adventure. This is about fun. This is about somebody rolling up and saying, "Hey, let's go somewhere. Let's do something you've never done before." And I keep hearing this message. Don't overthink it. Don't try to control it. Just enjoy it. Get on the roller coaster. Take the leap. Say yes to the experience. Because after everything you've been through, you deserve some lightness. You deserve some joy. You deserve some moments that are just pure, unfiltered happiness. New people are being drawn to your energy now. People who aren't intimidated by your truth. People who aren't threatened by your light. People who see you shine and want to celebrate it instead of dim it. The fake lion kept real connections away from you. They wanted you isolated. They wanted you dependent. They wanted you to believe that their toxic presence was all you deserved. But that was another lie, and that lie is being exposed too. Watch who shows up in this next season. Watch who reaches out. Watch who wants to be part of your journey. These are the connections that were always meant for you. They were just delayed by the interference of someone who didn't belong in your life. Now that the interference is being removed, the right people can finally get through. There's something magnetic about your energy now. It's different than before. It's purer, stronger, more refined. All that fire you went through burned away the impurities. All that pressure you endured created something diamond-like in your spirit. People can sense it even if they can't articulate it. They feel drawn to you without understanding why. They want to be around you without being able to explain the pull. That's the residue of truth. That's the fragrance of authenticity. That's the glow of someone who walked through the fire and came out refined. It's attractive in the purest sense of the word. It attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. It draws in those who are ready for realness and pushes away those who are committed to fakeness. Let this be a filter for your new connections. Let your authenticity be the bouncer at the door of your life. Anyone who can't handle the real you doesn't deserve access to you. Anyone who wants you to dim down or play small or pretend to be something you're not isn't worthy of your time. You've spent too many seasons entertaining frogs dressed as lions. Now you can see clearly. Now you can recognize the costume before it gets close enough to fool you. Trust your discernment in this season. It's been sharpened by everything you've been through. Those red flags you ignored before, you'll see them from miles away now. Those gut feelings you dismissed before, they'll scream loud and clear now. Those manipulative tactics that used to work on you, they'll bounce right off you now. You've been upgraded. Your spiritual software has been updated. You're operating on a completely different level than you were before. This is the fruit of staying authentic. This is the reward for refusing to compromise. This is the blessing that follows those who hold up mirrors instead of looking away. Enhanced discernment, sharpened intuition, supernatural wisdom, the ability to see through facades and past pretenses and into the truth of who people really are. Use it wisely. Let it guide your decisions. Let it inform your relationships. Let it direct your steps, because where you're going next, you're going to need it. The levels you're about to access are filled with people who are skilled at deception. The rooms you're about to enter are packed with frogs in expensive costumes, but you'll be able to see them now. You'll be able to recognize the ribbit behind the roar, and you'll be able to navigate those spaces without getting fooled. That's your advantage now. The thing they tried to use against you, the truth-telling, the mirror-holding, is now your greatest asset. What looked like a weakness is actually a superpower. What seemed like a liability is actually a gift. You see what others miss. You hear what others can't. You know what others overlook. So here you are, standing in your truth, shining in your authenticity, watching the world transform around you because of something you carried inside. That thing you said, it was planted in you by divine hands. That moment you refused to back down. Heaven was orchestrating it. That choice to stay true, even when it cost you. It's paying dividends now that you couldn't have calculated. Continue to be exactly who you are. Don't put on clothes that don't belong to you. Don't dim your light to make imposters feel comfortable. Don't swallow your truth because someone might choke on it. That's not your concern. Your concern is alignment. Your concern is authenticity. Your concern is walking the path that was laid out for you before you were even born. The changes you're making in your own life, keep making them. The steps you're taking that they said were impossible, keep taking them. Every time you move forward, you shake another room. Every time you speak, another illusion shatters. Every time you glow up, another fake is exposed. That's your power. That's your purpose. That's why they tried so hard to switch places with you. But the switch didn't work. Starseeds, they never expected this. The technology used to suppress consciousness has been reverse-engineered, and Destiny Engine is the result. What was once used against humanity is now your ascension weapon. You can now MK Ultra yourself into 5D superpowers. Destiny Engine bypasses the conscious mind and rewrites the source code directly. Reality bends faster. Synchronicities stack. Your nervous system upgrades to a higher bandwidth. Put on headphones. Press play. That's all. For $1, you switch sides of history. Click the link in the description. The takeover is internal. The truth is walking naked and proud. The lie is being hunted down in stolen clothes. And everybody, I mean everybody, is starting to see clearly now. The glasses are broken. The illusion is lifted. Reality has reasserted itself. And in this reality, you're exactly who you always knew you were. Remember at the beginning when I told you that someone was walking down the street and your arrow of truth hit them out of nowhere? Remember when I described their world flipping upside down, sacred geometry flooding their consciousness, everything changing in an instant? That's still happening. Right now, as you listen to this, that arrow is still flying. That truth is still landing. That shift is still occurring. And here's the beautiful thing, it's not just one person anymore, it's many. Multiple arrows from your quiver of truth are in the air simultaneously, hitting targets you never aimed at directly, reaching people you never intentionally addressed, transforming lives you never specifically touched. Because truth has a life of its own. Once it's released, it multiplies, it seeks out those who are ready to receive it, it finds the ears that are open and the hearts that are prepared. You are a catalyst for mass awakening, not just individual transformation, mass awakening, collective shift, widespread revelation. Your truth is part of a larger truth that's sweeping across the earth right now. Your voice is harmonizing with other voices to create a frequency that's shattering illusions everywhere. Your light is joining with other lights to create a brightness that darkness cannot overcome. That's what it means to be chosen. Not just picked for individual blessing, chosen for collective mission, selected to be part of something much bigger than yourself. Called to play a specific role in a divine production that's been unfolding since the beginning of time, and you're playing your role perfectly. The mirror holder, the truth speaker, the world shaker, the reality shifter, the one whose words carry enough weight to flip entire existences upside down. Someone is living in a completely different dimension right now because of what came out of your mouth. Their whole perception got shattered, their fake kingdom came crumbling down. Their costume got ripped off for everyone to see. That was you. So walk with your head high, speak with confidence, let your fruit keep showing, let your transformation keep testifying, let your authenticity keep exposing every frog that's pretending to be a lion. Because chosen one, you didn't just tell the truth, you spoke an earth-shattering truth and instantly shifted someone into an alternate reality, and that's just the beginning of what you're capable of. The world is changing because of you, your world is transforming for the better, and the next chapter is about to be your greatest one yet. Keep being you, keep speaking truth, keep shaking rooms and shifting realities. That's your assignment, and you're executing it perfectly.